What's up, boys and girls? This is Lance White, and you are watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, and this is going to be the Monday Night Raw review of the week of January 15th, 2012, and I'm not here alone, ladies and gentlemen. I have the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, the illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Starr. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, and I'm getting ready to do this Raw review, and let's see how it goes.
Well, this isn't going to be just any old Monday Night Raw. This is supposed to be the fabled 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. Now, was it a good anniversary show? Well, you're going to find out at the end of the review. We open up with Vince McMahon coming out to intro the 20th anniversary Monday Night Raw and welcome everybody to it. Then he gets interrupted by the Big Show, who's, let's just say, he's got some sour grapes because of the fact that he is no longer the World Heavyweight Champion due to Alberto Del Rio's win on Friday Night SmackDown in the Last Man Standing match. He starts complaining that Alberto Del Rio is not worthy of becoming champion. He wants Vince McMahon to strip him of the title and reward it back to him. Then he gets interrupted by Ricardo Rodriguez, who I might say, Rick, came out to a huge pop from the audience. You got to figure for a face turn from somebody like Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez, they're getting over really, really quick with the WWE audience, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know, I think if history shows that most heels that turn to face, they get that push. In even retrospect, most faces that turn to heels, they get that heat in the same aspect. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that point. But then Alberto Del Rio says he wants to challenge the Big Show to a fight right then and there. Big Show says, I'm going to invoke my rematch clause when I say I'm going to invoke it, and we're going to do it at the Royal Rumble, which pretty much in retrospect kind of sets up the SmackDown portion of the main event for the Royal Rumble with CM Punk for Raw defending the WWE title against The Rock, and now we have Alberto Del Rio defending the title for SmackDown against the Big Show. But in retrospect, you know, the really comedic part was Ricardo Rodriguez. He had a pail. We're all thinking, but let's just say it. Let's call it what it is. Ricardo Rodriguez, Rick, had a Doink the Clown moment.
Yeah, he kind of, and rather than, he threw some confetti on him because we all thought it was maybe some kind of water or anything else, and that's pretty much was just confetti, and it was pretty much, he got the jokes on the Big Show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which turned into a fight, which turned in Alberto Del Rio's favor, and that's pretty much how the segment ended. I thought this was a very decent opening segment for Monday Night Raw. Whether it's a 20th anniversary show or not, Rick, I still think this was a strong opening for Raw, wouldn't you say?
It was a strong opening, and I have to admit I was pretty impressed that Alberto Del Rio got the Hurricane Rana over on the Big Show. So yeah, it was a strong, great opening.
Yeah, considering how tall the Big Show is, yeah, I'm going 4 out of 5 on that one, Rick.
I'll go with that one, 4 out of 5.
Now, we want to talk about strong opening segments for Monday Night Raw, but now we have a very strong opening match. The Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett and Randy Orton. Rick, I've really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, this was a really good match. Wade Barrett and Randy Orton, these two have had a great feud over in 2012. And this match, of course, made no difference between the two. This match pretty much went back and forth, but Wade Barrett, of course, got the better end of him with his bull hammer. But he did something new. We saw him pull up his sleeve, red elbow, over his cuff, and he pretty much, which is saying he's going to be signaling for his bull hammer, and of course he got Randy Orton right before he was signaling for the RKO, hits him with it, and of course he gets the win. A very clean win at that rather than a heel win, but he still nonetheless gets a win, and it's the way barrage continues. That was a 3 out of 5 for me.
Are you surprised at all that they put Barrett over on Randy Orton?
I'm gonna say honestly no, because you know what? Let's be honest. There's been a lot of rumors that Orton has not exactly fallen out of light with the WWE management. There's been rumors that he's, he's fallen out. He's had a wellness plan. This is supposed to be his third strike, supposedly. So you gotta kind of wonder. Maybe he's now become the proverbial stepping stone. Maybe.
Possibly. Next up on Monday Night Raw, we had the return of Dr. Shelby and with Daniel Bryan and Kane of Team Hell No. Now, in this segment, Kane and Daniel Bryan were both agreeing that they did not like Dr. Shelby. They thought Dr. Shelby was a monster, which is kind of apropos coming from Kane. But they pretty much said, let's lie to him, saying that, we like this about each other just so we can get him out of our hairs. And it came to the point where Daniel Bryan said he liked the way that Kane could light things on fire by lowering his arms. And I believe one of the things Kane said that he liked the way that Daniel Bryan sometimes wants to dress up like a woman. This is pure comedic stuff here with Team Hell No and Dr. Shelby. But then he wants to bring in Team Rhodes Scholars, to kind of, if I remember correctly, it says to like find out their triggers for their anger, and instead of having Rhodes Scholars go after Dr. Shelby instead, and they Damien Sandow kind of crosses the line when he says Dr. Phil. That's when Shelby snaps, and 6 Team Hell No on the Rhodes Scholars, and you say, you know what, we all found our happy place in the end of the segment where they're flailing up their arms and down, going yes, yes, yes. And from a comedic standpoint, Rick, I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5.
I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was funny, but I wouldn't go 4 out of 5. I'd have to give it more of a 3 out of 5. It was kind of a middle of the road for me. I mean, it was a giggle. It was kind of a funny thing, but I could see where some people would give it a 4 or a 5. The 4 to 3. So, but that's just me.
It goes to set up the next match too, which was Kane and Damien Sandow. I guess more of the build between Team Hell No and Team Rhodes Scholars for the tag team title match at Royal Rumble. And let me just say, I can't really say anything bad about Kane and Damien Sandow other than the fact I've seen WWE Divas matches go longer than this, and Kane gets the finish with the choke slam and gets the win. So. That's why I factor in the segment and the match, and just give it a combined score, wouldn't you say, Rick?
If you want to put the two in together, then yeah, I would give both of them together a 4 out of 5. But just that one segment alone, yeah, I would give it a 3. But if you want to put that one together, then yes, I'll give those two together a 4. But I wouldn't. Just the match itself was very quick. Fair enough.
Rick, as expected by the WWE, we get the first announcement of the first inductee into this year's class of Hall of Fame class of 2013, and it's Mick Foley. Rick, your thoughts and your reactions?
Well, first off, Mick Foley is well overdue to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Kudos to Mick. I can't say enough to the guy. I'm glad that we've heard the rumors that he was getting inducted. So I'd like to see. There's a few other rumors that it's being inducted as Bam Bam Bigelow's being rumored, and I believe another one that's being confirmed yet unofficially is not Bam Bam Bigelow. I'm sorry, King Kong Monday.
I like to stop you right there and quell that, because I was on Twitter during Monday Night Raw, and an information was released as to King Kong Bundy. And the information stated that, yes, he is going to be going into the Hall of Fame, but he's going into the PWR Hall of Fame, not the WWE Hall of Fame. That was according to the Wrestling News Source on Twitter.
Oh, my mistake. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I don't understand is, before they can let Mick Foley, kind of make a speech, and giving his reactions to him finally getting into the Hall of Fame, they bring the Shield out. And Rick, I got to tell you this. As soon as the Shield's music hits, and I was on live tweet on my PS Vita, people all over the timeline were exploding. Foley versus Ambrose. They were trying to get that trending. I mean, people on Twitter, Rick, were going crazy over this.
Well, as you all know, of course, a lot of people know. Towards the end, after it was like I think it was like right after WrestleMania 28, Dean Ambrose did confront Mick Foley. It was before the Shield was even heard of, before there was anything. It was there was a huge there was a video of Dean Ambrose who confronted Mick Foley in a post video. I forget where exactly it was, but that's where it started. This is, of course, where Dean Ambrose was really getting popular, and this is where they were supposed to start some kind of a feud. I forget that I think that he had then they started some kind of a Twitter war, but Dean Ambrose rumored had crossed the line and talked about Mick Foley's family, and Mick Foley says never ever talk about my family, and that's, I believe, where it had died out. I'm not sure if that's true. Don't hold me to it, but that was the rumor. And I think that, I'm sorry, I love Mick, but I think Mick Foley versus Dean Ambrose, I don't see anything at this point now. To have, Ryback, Sheamus, and Randy Orton, or, it's just... Personally, I don't even see what the point of the Shield is. I think it's getting really dull with him, with the Shields doing these run-ins. Mm-hmm. It was great at first, but now it's getting really dry really fast.
Well, for those of you who don't know, this is a take 2 of a Raw review, because we tried once the other night, and if you guys follow me on Facebook, you guys would have seen it on there that I posted that because of a malfunction with the Skype recorder, that none of the last night's Raw review got recorded. But I said it last night on the first attempt to record a Raw review, Rick, that somewhere down the line, they're teasing it too much. A 6-man tag with the Shield, Ryback, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. If not sooner, then possibly Royal Rumble match during the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
It makes sense. Right now, there's nothing really big, no real big matches at the Royal Rumble. But I mean, they only have 3 weeks? Yeah. Less than 3 weeks. So they're gonna have to put something together pretty fast. They only have right now the world title, the WWE title, the Rumble, and the tag matches, the tag title. So that's like 3 matches, 3 matches plus the Rumble. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The Rumble itself is going to take about an hour. Unless if they decide to stretch that out. The Rock and Punk match, I don't think that's going to take anything more than maybe 20 minutes. I'm sorry, half hour. With maybe entrances. I think Alberto Del Rio, and without really going too long, I don't think that's that much. So they have to add something else. So yeah, I can see that adding some in. So.
Well, how would you grade that whole segment altogether?
I would have to just give that a 3.5, a 3.55.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna I put a little asterisk next to that for Dean Ambrose's reaction to hearing Ryback's music. It's like he wanted to really shout "fuck" when he heard Ryback's music. I mean, that was a great reaction by Ambrose. I got to give it to him on that one. But next up, we had the WWE Divas title on the line, and of course, the stipulation added by Booker T that if if Eve got counted out or disqualified, the title would be stripped, and Caitlyn would become the champion. Basically, the disqualification rule and the countout rule got waived. That's what we used to say in the Attitude Era. But this was a very great match. Yeah, you heard me right, guys, and I think it's all because of the news information about indie wrestler Sarah Del Rey taking over the spot for training the divas in the WWE. And if that is true, Rick, I gotta say, she's done a marvelous job with Caitlyn and Eve. But here's the sad thing, though. Caitlyn is the new champion, but Rick, what's the news behind Eve? Because we saw it last night. She quit on the WWE app, and WWE didn't announce that until about 90 minutes after it transpired on their TV show, which kind of really doesn't make any sense to me. But what's the whole news about Eve leaving the WWE?
Apparently, she is marrying a. Well, for one thing, she's just being overworked. That's for one thing, is that she's well overworked. And secondly, is that she is marrying some MMA a fighter. And let me see if I need to. Let me go get my. 1 second. I need to get on my Facebook page, Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Be sure you guys look that up. Look that up. Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
And in a nutshell, yeah, she's just it's one of the Gracies. It's not Royce Gracie. He's retired and well too old.
Yeah.
She's told to marry him. She's old enough to marry me. But she's very, very sexy, and I wouldn't say no. I don't think either one of us would say no.
Yeah.
And if I could.
Only in my dreams, Rick. Only in my dreams.
Absolutely. And now that I'm finally at the page, yes, it's Rena Grace. That's if I'm pronouncing the name. And yeah, she's getting married. So I guess she has been working, on the road full time, and since 2007. And so I guess she's just taking a break. Not sure if it's not sure if she's actually leaving. She said she's going to look to do some outside projects.
Something about a reality show.
Yes. So I didn't get the name of the reality show, to be honest with you. So that I have to do some more following up on that thing. It's just some outside projects. That's the only thing that I did. I'm gonna have to do some more following up.
Well, like I said, as far as this match goes, I thought it was a good job on Caitlyn and Eve to put on a very decent Divas title match, and WWE showing some faith in Caitlyn. And I've said it before on Facebook and Twitter. Every time I see Caitlyn in the ring, she just gets better and better every time I see her. And I'm not just talking about the looks. I mean, from my standpoint, I see really good potential in her to become a good women's wrestler. Better than a diva, a women's wrestler, and she's got that potential. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 on that one, Rick.
Absolutely.
But next up, well, let's talk about this next one, Rick. We had CM Punk and Brodus Clay. It's set up from the fact of the comments during CM Punk's promo last week, where at one point he says, how WWE takes a 400-pound monster like Brodus Clay, and they take their children, and he's forced to bring their children in the ring, and is forced to shook and jive, if I remember correctly. And the fact that Brodus Clay was upset over those remarks, saying that Brodus Clay shooks and jives because he wants to do it. He likes to do it, and that CM Punk needs to keep his name out of his mouth. And now, Rick, let's get to the match. What were your thoughts on this match?
Well, first off, I really thought that CM Punk was really defending people like Daniel Bryan and Brodus Clay. I thought that was really a shoot. And for Brodus Clay to say, "Oh, you know what? I really want to, shook and jive, and I really want to do that." I'm like, okay, you really want to look like an idiot and dance around like a moron? Well, I'm like, wow, that's not a gimmick I would want, but that's what I thought. But anyway, take a look. CM Punk makes Brodus Clay look like a bitch and taps out in a matter of minutes. I really don't think much of this match. I'm going to have to give it like a 2.5, I think after that, CM Punk pretty much picks up the match, picks up the mic, and, well, Billy, what do you have to say?
Well, CM Punk was covering a promo about the fact that, people can have their opinions, but, he's saying it's a fact that he's the best in the world, and it's a fact that at the Royal Rumble, he's going to be defeating The Rock. And I really don't think at any point in that match last night, Rick, that I ever saw Paul Heyman's arms go down while he was holding the WWE title. So I think somebody might need to call a doctor for Paul Heyman and say, look, my shoulder joints are stuck. I can't get them down.
Other than that, I hope he has deodorant.
Well, he better be sure about that, if you know what I mean. But
yeah.
but he goes to cut a promo about the fact that that Rock is going to be entertaining the crowd with the Rock concert, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But next up, we had an over-the-top rope challenge between 3MB and Sheamus. And now, they kind of made Sheamus look strong at first. They had him eliminate Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. Then it got to the point where the match is on the ring apron. Sheamus is grappling with Heath Slater, and then I kind of saw it coming, and it happened. McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, they interfere, and they rip Sheamus off the apron, which makes Heath Slater the winner. The way I look at this, Rick, I look at WWE possibly using it as maybe a side angle a little bit for Sheamus. We used him heavily a lot as the main event for SmackDown for the latter part of 2012. I think maybe they were just maybe creating a side angle for Sheamus now, since Big Show and Berto Del Rio are now in the mix of the World Heavyweight title, maybe just for give Sheamus something to do.
It is possible because I don't really see anything else for 3MB being used in the Rumble. I mean, it's possibly it's like a Rumble training mat thing. I don't see them being used in a main match during the Rumble. So yeah, like you said, just it could also be just like a filler.
Possibly. But I'm going to look at this match. I'm going to say 3 out of 5 just for 3MB being out there. It wasn't nothing wrong with the match. There was no botches. Nothing performed terribly. But, that's the feeling of it just gave me a 3 out of 5. That's all I can say. Well, next up we had a Miz TV, and this was a really good Miz TV with the former 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Rick, your reactions?
You know what? When Ric Flair's on TV, and a lot of people may disagree with me, but Ric Flair's always entertaining in some form or another.
Yes.
He's just always knows how to, just entertain people. It may be repetitive, it may always, but he just knows how to reshuffle what he's gonna say and stuff, and but it's really interesting. Take it on.
Oh yes, they start talking about Miz asks the question, which Raw moment over the 20 years that do you find was one of your best moments ever? And Ric Flair replies, the Raw after WrestleMania 24 when Shawn Michaels retired me in a sense. And when they all had that big goodbye celebration, and I put that in quotation marks because Ric Flair really didn't retire from the business too much, because he retired from the WWE and moved on for TNA, but that's a whole nother ball of wax we were going to save for another time and another place. But as far as this segment goes, next Antonio Cesaro comes out, I guess, with his salute to the Patriot Del Wilkes in his red, white, and blue gear, I guess, and guess because of the fact he's the United States champion, starts running down Nature Boy Ric Flair for being a typical American in his eyes, and Miz was taking offense to that, and Antonio Cesaro was challenged to a fight by the Miz, and Cesaro said, "Unlike you, I know bigger. I'm going to be the bigger man," and walk away. And Ric Flair said, "We ain't gonna have that." As Ric Flair begins to chop at Cesaro and throws him to the Miz. Miz gives him the skull-crushing finale, and then at one point we think Ric Flair's going to put the patented figure 4 leg lock on Cesaro. Then Ric Flair says, "Come over here. You're going to do it." And Miz does it perfectly. Rick, I gotta ask you, a lot of people, they even said it on Twitter, I gotta ask you for your opinions to this statement, is what people were saying, that Ric Flair was passing the torch over to the Miz. What do you think?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know if the Miz is going to continue on with the figure 4. I think he was just going to do it just for that one show. Time will tell. That's just going to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to. If he continues on with the figure 4, I mean, look at AJ Styles. If you remember when AJ Styles was doing the figure 4 for a certain amount of time back over in TNA, but once he stopped hanging out with Ric Flair, he took it out of his repertoire.
Yeah.
I think the same thing's going to happen. I think people just do it just because of respect for Ric Flair, and that's what I think.
Definitely, definitely. How would you grade the Miz TV segment, Rick?
You know what? Absolutely 4.5 out of 5. It's always, like I said, when Flair's around, you gotta love him.
Motorwave guys and gals, if you're wondering what's wrong with my voice, I'm getting over a head cold I've been having the past 5 days. That's why you haven't seen any reviews as of late on here on WGS-TV. You know, your old friend Double B, the Wrestle Gamer, was out sick. Yes, I am human. I am prone to ailments. So, but you can tell I'm about 85, 90% recovered. But next up we had Daniel Bryan taking on Cody Rhodes. I still don't, Rick. I still don't understand this mustache gimmick with Cody Rhodes. I don't get it.
Oh, you mean the caterpillar? Yeah, yeah, I have yet to figure out the caterpillar. I don't know if it's just something that maybe management just said, "Hey, can you grow like a little thin mustache over there?" Or if he just decided to do it on, to do it and for, no idea, no idea where it came from. But it was just kind of a, so But anyways,
Did you notice when Daniel Bryan was locking in the no lock and got the submission victory on Cody Rhodes, that Michael Cole didn't call it the no lock. He called it the yes lock. I mean, why is that still happening?
because I think right now where Daniel Bryan is becoming a face, they're saying yes, 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 and where heel, it's no. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's back where, again, I hate to use the TNA thing, where Jeff Hardy was a heel, it was a twist of hate, and where was a face, he's a twist of fate type. It's that kind of theory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way I can go with it. Again, this is a kind of a quick match, but not a bad match. I gotta give it a 3 out of 5.
I gotta agree with you on there. It's almost the same match length as Kane and Damian Sandow. Now, Rick, the study man actually was on Skype during Monday Night Raw with me, and he brought this up to me. On this Monday Night Raw, we have both members of Team Hell No go over on their matches, and typically when we see that happening when it involves a tag team, he says that kind of means that the pay-per-view Team Road Scholars are going to come away with the tag team titles. Do you agree with that assessment?
It's very quite possible, and you know what? I would not be surprised if we see, Scholars lose the titles. So let's figure it. How long has it been since Scholars had the titles? They've had the, I'm sorry, Hell No. Hell No, I'm sorry, Hell No have the titles.
I think weren't they formed in October, I think, when they were formed?
Yeah, so it's been quite a while. So, for them to, it would not be surprised if they've dropped the title. And, Scholars, they've been a pretty strong team, aside with the exception of, Rhodes being injured.
Yeah.
So, only time will tell. That's what you got to see. It's, the Rumble coming up. They've been feuding with Hell No, and just constantly getting title shot after title shot after title shot. Nobody else has really gotten a shot, and I think everybody else is pretty much just gone.
Yeah.
I don't even know anybody else that's really even around.
Well, Tyson Kidd's out for about 10 to 11 months with an injury, so they can't use Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. R-Truth is out for God knows how long after TLC with that gruesome knee injury that he suffered. I mean, both me and Rick saw a picture of that thing. That thing was nasty looking.
I don't think he's gonna be out as long as you think. I think he's only gonna be out for like maybe a few months. Yeah, I don't think he'll be out as long as Tyson Kidd will be. So there's still the primetime players who really, for some reason, are not in the good graces of, there's the Usos, but they haven't been around lately. They weren't even,
Epico and Primo.
Again, they haven't really been, again, in the best,
Yeah.
in the management's higher promises. So these guys, so it's really up to them. If they don't win, they're gonna have to give somebody else a shot.
All right. Well, Rick, let's set up the main event. Steel cage match, John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler, and a special added bonus for this main event, which was a phenomenal main event and a possible contender for match of the year in my eyes. As far as this goes, this was match of the night. But what made it even better is the fact that we had Jim Ross, good old JR, on commentary calling this main event match. Rick, your thoughts?
Well, for one thing, I have to agree with my only thing is that it was not the final segment of the night. That was my only complaint. But we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, it was a great match. Yeah, it was it was a cage match, so yeah, that definitely raised the bar a little bit. So we saw it was Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena in a cage match. We would think that this would keep, of course, AJ and Biggie Langston out of the picture, but of course, you know what? We didn't have to see that happen. Of course, we saw Biggie Langston get involved a few times. We even saw AJ Lee scale the cage and try to get involved, but you know what? Did that really still, that's still, it was, still, issues. But the match itself, a lot of great moves. We even saw Dolph Ziggler do a super DDT. It was his jumping DDT off the top rope. I was impressed with that move. Ziggler continues to impress me. You can call me a Ziglite. You can call me just, a mark for Dolph Ziggler, which I am. But I was really impressed, Billy, yeah, some of your thoughts.
It takes great leaping ability to get up that high for a super DDT. It doesn't matter who you are. You have to have really strong legs to jump up that high to do that spot. Another interesting spot was when Ziggler locked in the sleeper hold on the ground. John Cena then stood up with. By the way, Ziggler is not a small guy. He's about 230, 240. And Cena got up on his feet with Ziggler, that extra body weight on him. And first off, made it look easy, which really shocks me. But then again, that's a testament to how strong John Cena really is. And not only that, but then started to climb the ropes with Ziggler on his back, again, making it look extremely easy, like it was nothing. And then the spot finish with Cena kind of, passing out and falling backwards to kind of counter the sleeper hold, I should say, of Ziggler. And for Cena to do that and just make it look easy, Rick, to me, that's a testament to how strong Cena really is to do that with Ziggler on his back.
Well, yeah, I do. And like I said, don't get me wrong, both of these guys are really strong, and Cena, we know that Cena's really strong. The only thing that I thought that was really just a little too beyond belief or beyond kayfabe, so to speak, is, we saw, Cena really get slammed with a cage door. We saw some really great moves, and for him to kick out, we've talked about this on several other shows. A finisher should be a finisher. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And we saw him get hit with, the zigzag. We got Sam get hit with with that jumping DDT, which has been Ziggler's pretty much, if not, one of his one of his signatures, as we would like to call it. Still nothing. And it's like enough is enough.
The super kick too. The super kick.
Yes, exactly. So when is enough enough? When do you finally say, yeah, okay, you know what? You got hit with a finish, but yet Cena gets, Cena pulls off his, attitude adjustment 1, 2, 3.
It's really difficult to say what WWE creative has in mind, when they say, this is your finisher, but it's not going to finish a match. And, it's aggravating to wrestling fans like you and me who know the business as well as we do without actually stepping in the ring as to, the reasonings behind, you're going to get hit with a finisher, but you're going to kick out. It's not going to finish the match, But, maybe it kind of heightened, the dramatic sense part of the match. You know the match is going to go on, but, when you hit your finisher, perfect example, WrestleMania 25, Undertaker hits the first tombstone on Shawn Michaels. Everybody in the arena, even you and me, when we both first saw that, we thought, bam, that was over. Next, we see Shawn Michaels kick out a tombstone pile driver. What does that do to the match? Screw the fact that it's a finishing move. It's supposed to finish the match, but it just kind of heightened the drama, it heightened the excitement at that moment that Shawn Michaels kicked out of the tombstone pile driver. We know the match was going to continue, and it kind of elevates the excitement. Now, I think that's probably one of the reasons why WWE kind of looked at it and said, you're going to get hit with a finisher, but it's not going to finish the match. But then again, that's just my opinion. I'm just making an evaluation.
Now, I agree with that evaluation, but see, I think with at least with pay-per-views on a scale like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, they should even like SummerSlam. They should say, okay, fine. You know what? You can kick out of like maybe one or two. I can understand that. You know what I mean? It makes that one sense to get out of the. That's why they have like what they call the super finishers. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, well, now that I think about it, Michaels was hit with the choke slam. He was hit with the last ride, and I think he was also hit with. I'm trying to, it was two tombstones. It took two tombstone pile drivers to finish the match. But yeah, Michaels was hit with all of those signature moves first before that first tombstone.
Yes, but I mean, we understand. Like I said, sometimes, like you said, like if some people do like something like you said, like if they go off the top rope and do like a super tombstone or some kind of a super like a modification of a super finisher, then that should end the match. You gotta figure out, okay, you gotta do a super finisher, but on like SmackDown, Raw, 99 out of 100 times a finisher should end the match, period, and they don't. And you know what I mean? And even if you watch Raw, finisher isn't a finisher. Does not.
Well, maybe that's for another time in another place. We can and talk about that and the reasonings behind why WWE does that. As far as this match goes, Rick, I'm giving the strongest match of the night. I gotta go 5 out of 5 on it because it was very entertaining. It was a great match, and it was a great main event for Monday Night Raw this week.
Yeah, it was probably the best match. It was the best match tonight. It was great, excellent. So I'll give it to you. I'll give it the 5 out of 5.
Next thing you know, we got the Rock concert, and I'm gonna say this right off the bat, Rick. This Rock concert, I'm gonna say about 10 times better than last year's Rock concert when Rock was building towards his match with John Cena. This one was very, very entertaining. I thought it was very funny. Rock was actually great. I'm actually, pleased now that they're actually using Rock in a good way, to entertain the fans. And, I believe he's really starting to, turn the ratings around. He's bringing the company back to being an entertaining show. I was laughing when he brought out the. Now, I still don't understand the concept of twinkle tits to Paul Heyman, or Twinkie tits, I think it was. To Paul Heyman, I could kind of
Twinkie tits.
Twinkie tits. I didn't think you can actually say that on TV, but they let him get away with it. And then she brings out Vicky Guerrero, and then starts singing. Now, Rick, I'm not big into Eric Clapton. I don't know too many of his songs, but I was informed that the parody of the song he was doing was called "Wonderful Tonight."
I am a Clapton fan, so yes.
Yeah, and the version that The Rock did to Vicky Guerrero was, no, biatch, you look horrible tonight.
Yes.
I gotta say, Rick, I was laughing.
For me, I'm sorry. Like I said, the Rock, all the Rock concerts for me, I'm sorry, they're a little bit cheeky, and the fact that they're just like SmackDown. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but just like SmackDown and Raw, I think it's too tongue-in-cheek. He has to have a celebrity to. He had a celebrity on SmackDown, and now he has a celebrity on Raw, of course, that he has to point out to get that little extra pop. Really, just it's like, I'm like, really, Rock? Are you really that desperate to get a pop? You know what I mean? Come on, Rock. We always know the celebrities and the fans, and 99 out of 100 times, people don't. All the other wrestlers don't point them out. But Rock, of course, has to point them out to get that pop. I'm glad. The only thing that was really great about that one segment is pretty much just start slamming the hell out of them. That's what I had. That's pretty much the only thing that saved that segment for me. Other than that, I would have given this segment like a 1.0.
Yeah, Rock then called out CM Punk, and he says he knows that for a fact, kind of playing on what CM Punk said earlier in the night, that CM Punk is not God, but as God is his witness, that he's going to defeat him at the Royal Rumble and become the new WWE champion, which prompts CM Punk to run down the ring apron, and we have Punk and Rock start fighting each other, and they pretty much end the show like that. And Rick, I got to ask you, by the way, the segment's going to get a 4 out of 5 from me because I thought it was very entertaining. It was very funny. It's also going to get a 4 out of 5 for Twinkie Tits. But let's see if we can get that's probably going to be hashed. Cookie Puss didn't get a trend on Twitter, but Twinkie Tits might be another thing. Considering it's Paul Heyman. But what do you think of this build so far between Rock and CM Punk?
I think it's building somewhat okay. I think the only thing that's really building it is the fact that there's actual physicality. Unlike Cena and The Rock, there was no physicality. If you remember, when Cena and The Rock first faced off, wanted to start their match last year from WrestleMania 28, there was nothing. They didn't touch each other. They didn't do nothing. They would get right up in front of each other's face to face. Did not touch each other. Last year, Punk walked up, clotheslined him, and then gave him knees to faces.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rock gave him a weak-ass rock bottom. I'm sorry, it was. It was like the rock. That was the lamest rock bottom I've ever seen. And then Punk came down and beat the hell out of him. Personally, before WrestleMania, before the Rumble, I would like to see The Rock eat another knee. That's just me.
Overall score on the 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw is going to get a 3 out of 5, and this is why. It's got nothing to do with the match lineup. The match card, the match show was okay, but here's the thing: I'm not gonna classify this as an anniversary show. Yes, we saw some montages. It was good to see Ric Flair, but for a 20th. To call this a 20th anniversary show on Monday Night Raw, to me, that was an insult, because this was more along the lines of a Monday Night Raw just showing some montages and clips of Raw over the past 20 years. This was, to me, Rick, this was not an anniversary show.
I absolutely have to agree with you. I mean, let's face it. Who really, aside from Flair and of course The Rock for the obvious reasons, who showed up? Nobody.
Exactly.
There was not one person who showed up. This was really, like you said, it was an insult, and it was ridiculous. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 overall, and that last segment again. I'll have to give it a 2.5 out of 5, and it was only because Punk came down and beat the hell out of him.
So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Again, we're just calling it Monday Night Raw. We're not going to call it the 20th anniversary show of Monday Night Raw, because it is what it is. It was Monday Night Raw with just montages of Raws over the past 20 years. So what we want to know is, what are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week? Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. And guys and gals, don't forget to check out Rick Starr over on Hardcore Wrestling Radio on blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Rick, what you got coming up?
This coming Wednesday, we are changing our show from 11 o'clock. We are now 8 p.m. We are going to be live. We're going to be talking about the TNA Genesis review. We're also, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Raw, but also we got a lot of news. We're going to be talking about Hulk Hogan getting got a new lawsuit and a whole bunch of new stuff. So be sure to join us over at blogtalkradio.com.
Here's a little hint of the review coming up on Hardcore Wrestling Radio of TNA Genesis, guys and gals. The word poop, or a form of the word, will be said a lot. Also, don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for the Illuminous One, the Shining Star Rick Starr, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux saying thank you very much for watching.